Hi, my name is Beer, and let's start with King Arthur, Knight's Tale. This is a cool hybrid between turn-based games like XCOM and traditional character-centric CRPGs. You'll find diverse battle maps where you will have to position yourself to avoid shield walls and flank your enemies. Also use covers against archers, make use of the terrain, hide in the foliage, and surprise your enemies with your endless wisdom. Knight's Tale is a modern retelling of a classic story with a heavy touch of dark fantasy tropes, a twist on the traditional tales of chivalry, and a bearded wizard with a friendly smile. You will encounter nothing like that here. Knight's Tale is grimdark and really refreshing on your eyes tired from all these colorful games nowadays. Although keep in mind that all your characters are expendable and if they die they will stay dead forever, meaning that the game is leaning to the hardcore and may not be very easy for you. Monster Hunter World. You'll take on the role of a hunter and slay ferocious monsters in a living ecosystem, where you can use the landscape and its diverse inhabitants to get the upper hand. You can hunt alone or in co-op with up to 3 other players, and use materials collected from fallen foes to craft new gear. There are 14 different weapons at your disposal, each with its own unique characteristics and styles of attack. Many hunters acquire proficiency in multiple types, while others prefer to attain mastery of one. Monster Hunter World has 87% of positive reviews on Steam, left by more than 200,000 players. Incredible achievement. Kingdom Come Deliverance. If you take Skyrim and strip it of dragons, trolls, elves and magic, you might get a very boring game. Not as boring as your sister, but really, you may think that it would probably suck. But these Czech developers who created Kingdom Come Deliverance managed to make a realistic medieval Skyrim-like game that is not only not boring, but is one of the most famous open-world games nowadays. It has a great story, interesting missions and a really beautiful world set in an ancient part of nowadays Czech Republic. So grab your wooden sword and show everyone how to fight. Well, I'll be honest, this game is terribly hard at the beginning. A simple drunken peasant will destroy your dignity at ease. The learning curve is not friendly at all, but you will learn, everyone learns. You are not worse than everyone, right? Although in general, the harsh reality of a level 1 villager that decided to become a warrior is not very pleasant, like in any game. And combat here is very realistic. I'm not kidding, some duels against stronger foes can span 15 minutes or even more. Here you will really feel like a lone warrior fighting for your life. Immersion definitely over 9000. Dragon Age Inquisition. While we wait for the next part of Dragon Age to be released, let's take a look what the last game in the series had to offer. Let's start with the fact that it wasn't completely oriented to the fans of the Dragon Age franchise and tried to be appealing to a wider audience. That they definitely achieved. Me and my wife, we played the game and we liked it. It was our first experience in the world of Dragon Age and we had tons of fun. My wife even completed it twice. The game was designed to be played using a pause function, but I can't remember ever doing that. I played it in real time all the time and I had fun. Maybe on some boss I pre-planned some moves, but that was about it. It is definitely not a game for a hardcore Dungeons & Dragons fan, more like a nice fantasy title for the masses. It is beautiful, has a nice story and you can own a castle. In my opinion, 8 cold beers out of 10. Just be careful, with it you must install EA Launcher. That is never cool. Disco Elysium. This is one of the greatest role-playing experiences you will ever have, but play it only if you like reading a lot and like games without combat. You will not find any here. Well, I mean combat that is not a result of your dialogue choices. Your character will do things automatically based on the decisions you make, and those decisions of yours are not always very smart, and Disco Elysium just lets you do stupid things, which is kinda scary because suddenly you may realize that you just wanted to test the waters, but instead you actually made the decision that will have grim consequences. And by grim, I mean really grim. On some of those occasions, the game just ends. You may see game over screen without even playing an hour. And the game is like,
I told you, but you pushed me hard, so the consequences are yours to swallow.
Yeah, actually Disco Elysium has 3 different endings and 12 unique game overs. Those I talked about before. So always, and I mean always, think twice before doing something stupid. And then think twice while playing Disco Elysium as well. Because no matter how stupid the decision you want to make is, the game may let you do it. Marvel's Midnight Suns. I can honestly say that I am not a fan of superhero movies, but I must admit that there are a few of them I enjoyed way more than I expected. Although I would want to live in a world where instead of Marvel movies, everyone would want more smart sci-fi movies instead. But I live in the wrong universe where Miss Originality is smoking hay in the corner while Mr. I've seen it somewhere is in the driver's seat. So I'm extremely surprised that Marvel's Midnight Suns is a tactical turn-based game. Let me ask honestly, who the profanity is the target audience? The genre of the game insists that it's me, but the superhero setting is suggesting that it's someone who likes light and easy games with fast action and not a chess-like board game like Midnight Suns is. Anyway, people are kinda happy with the result. Mostly positive review score is not that bad, to be honest. Gamers are saying that this is a nice strategy game with a lot of relationship management between heroes. Price is still high, but if you like both tactical games and Marvel's universe, you should at least put it into your wishlist. Legend of Grimrock. This title is perfect for those who like pineapple in potato salad and well-done steaks. Oh wait, it's a mistake, it's an absolutely different game and it shouldn't exist. This game is perfect for dungeon crawling fans because Legend of Grimrock is one of the best there is. It has a modern execution but an old school heart. A group of prisoners are sentenced to a certain death by exile to the secluded Mount Grimrock for vile crimes they may or may not have committed. Probably they put pineapple in the potato salad and cooked steaks until they were well done. If that is so, just leave them to die, they are not worthy. Okay, I'm kidding, you are a generous god and you must help everyone in need. So you are in charge of them and you will have to travel to ancient crumbled ruins, mysterious shrines and vast underground network of dungeons and mines. If the prisoners wish to make it out alive, they have to overcome all the challenges, form a team and descend through the ominous mountain. Although be warned that this game has one very annoying feature. You will be searching for hidden buttons all the time and that is not fun at all. Divinity Original Sin 2. Here you can create your own character or become one of 6 existing heroes with their own backgrounds and agendas. For example, you can become a flesh-eating elf. You may think, what, is that the lame feature that regenerates health like ghouls have in every game? No, it's way cooler. Once I found a dead body, and there was an option to, eat its leg. I was like, why not? And I ate it. And suddenly I saw who killed the guy because this feature of mine worked in this mysterious way, and I completely forgot that I have it. I just ate the leg because I can. So the game gives you freedom that is sometimes a bit absurd. That is awesome. Anyway, here you will explore the vast and layered world alone or in a party of up to 4 friends in a cooperative play. You can even play on split screen with your mother-in-law. Go anywhere, unleash your imagination and explore almost endless ways to interact with the world. There's more to experience in PvP and Game Master modes. In the latter you'll create your own stories or download fan-made campaigns from Steam Workshop. Game has an overwhelmingly positive review score. A must-play, that's a fact. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. This is probably the best fantasy open-world RPG ever created, and I doubt that I could find anyone who at least never heard of it. Well, at least inside the Western influence hemisphere, it's a true legend. On Steam it has more than 600,000 reviews, and 96% of these people recommend this game for you. Anyway, the game has an incredible story, super fun gameplay, and a huge dark fantasy open world to explore. The coolest thing is, of course, your profession. You kill monsters for money, so you can just travel around the map and fulfill contracts ignoring the main story as long as you want or as long as you can get a new contract. And every single monster hunt is a handcrafted mission with different outcomes and sometimes hard moral choices. Third Witcher is probably the best game I have ever played. Spellforce 3 Soul Harvest. This game, just like Fallen God, is a standalone episode of Spellforce 3, meaning that you don't have to own the base game or even know the story very well. Here you are plunged in a war on many fronts. While some evil threatens to tear apart the Dwarven realm, an enigmatic cult of dark elves harvests the souls of people for reasons unknown. That is not cool, you have to stop it. Souls are like currency you can use to pay the devil for nice things, so all this soul harvesting stuff is like a bank robbery in my eyes. The game itself is a hybrid between RPG and RTS, meaning that you will have your heroes with various options and combinations on a skill tree and can amass your army like in any strategy game as well. The difference from 3rd Warcraft, for example, is that your heroes here are more like actual RPG heroes than just better units with more powerful skills. The story will take about 20 hours of your time, but if you want you can create your own maps as well. Solasta, Crown of the Magister. Here you'll discover the shattered world of Solasta, explore ruins and dungeons for legendary treasures, learn the truth of an age-old cataclysm and stop it from happening again. You will be able to create your own party of adventurers in the classic tabletop RPG tradition. The choices you will make while choosing various skills, traits and backstories of your heroes will reflect in their dialogue. You know, if some of them are born in Potato Saladistan, they will always be enemies with the guys who put pineapple in their potato salad. And with these characters you will dive into long-forgotten dungeons to unearth ancient artifacts. But stay watchful of light and darkness. Many dangers hide in the dark, but a light can attract monsters as well. Some enemies have dark vision, some may flee from your torch, but, you know, as I always say, the best way to light your way is with fireballs. It doesn't really matter if your enemies have dark vision or not, a fried monster is always better than a raw monster, so the game is pure treasure for a CRPG fans, and also it includes Dungeon Manager, so you can make your own stories and maps, or play some good ones created by way more talented people than you. Also keep in mind that the game has 3 DLCs and 1 supporter pack available, and those DLCs along with the base game are constantly on one sale or another, and there is no better channel covering sales than this one, so subscribe, don't miss a good opportunity in the future. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition. This version with upgraded graphics was released 7 years ago, and it still has about 25,000 players in-game simultaneously at all times. By player count on Steam it holds 46 plays among all the games. That shows how huge and popular this game is. There is no doubt that Skyrim is a masterpiece of open-world games, and in my opinion it was decrowned from the throne of the best game in the field only by the third Witcher. By now it is of course a bit outdated, but it still lets you dive into a huge fantasy world and explore incredible places. Skyrim is single player only. There is no bullshit of other players invading your game like in Elden Ring, no other gamers walking around like in Diablo 4 when you just try to accomplish single player campaign. Here you are alone, and everything is done for your personal pleasure. You can become a warrior, mage, assassin or drug addict. You know, it's up to you. Skyrim is like a great book where you are the main protagonist. Superhero to be fair, but the lore is super deep. Stories, especially for guild quests, are great, and if you never played it, just do it. Darksiders III. This is a hack-and-slash action-adventure where you will assume the role of Fury in the quest to hunt down and dispose of the 7 deadly sins. You must succeed where many have failed and kick some adversary ass. Here you are an angry lady with a whip, so this task for you will be a piece of cake. Well, actually no, the game is quite difficult but immensely fun. Here you will explore an open-ended living game world in which you will move back and forth between environments to uncover secrets while advancing the story. People on Steam are saying that the gameplay mechanics, artistic style and story is great and engaging, but there is no map and fights can feel unfair and lack variety. Also keep in mind that the game is Souls-like, so prepare to die a bit more often than you would like to. Hogwarts Legacy. I had a lot of fun playing this game, although I bought it with the idea of playing it a bit, making a review to my channel and forgetting about it. Well, turns have tabled while I played it. It was so much fun to explore the land and meet various characters, I refused to convert it into a job. So I just played the game for my own pleasure and completely skipped it on my channel. All in all, Hogwarts Legacy was one of the few games that actually survived the hype train and never crashed anywhere. The game has above 90% of positive reviews on Steam, and I would give the game 10 cold beers out of 10 without much thinking. The world is very detailed, quests are handcrafted and fun, magic truly feels like magic, and the world is really open, although the map is shaped like a bow, very narrow and long, but that's maybe a thing of a lore. I don't know, I have never read the books, only seen the movies. Only thing that actually spoiled the game a bit was how soon I got the ability to fly. That absolutely crashed the exploration on foot part. Flying in Hogwarts is awesome, but I would have given this ability way later in the game. The variety of enemies also could be wider, but hey, it's a great game, you have all my recommendations. Greedfall Gold Edition. Here you'll have a complete freedom in character progression. Play as a male or female, customize your appearance and freely choose your abilities, spells and skills. But do not expect miracles, this is not a highest level RPG, although it looks like one. Greedfall was created in 3 years and its budget was about $5 million. For a AAA open world game like this, it's the bare minimum for it to be decent, so treat it more like a very expensive indie game instead. Somewhat similar budget had the Kingdom Come Deliverance team, and Skyrim's budget was about 100 million. For it you can literally create 20 games like Greedfall, so keep that in mind before you start comparing Greedfall with the giants of the genre. And this version, Greedfall Gold Edition, includes a DLC, so this is a better version of the game if you compare it with just the basic Greedfall. It is a decent game, and as I've said many times, I would give it about 7 cold beers out of 10. Age of Wonders 4. At first this game may look really complex. It is filled with tens or even hundreds of various tiny statistics, resources, skills, traits, and so on. And that can be really overwhelming. But when I played it, I remember the golden rule of any game. Just play it as you can and learn along the way. And you know, it worked. It's actually not that complex, and explanations here are great. Also, a very cool thing here is that immediately after you launch the game, you are provided with the opportunity to create your own faction. Here you can create cannibal moles or necromancer frogs, orcs of light, or anything you can imagine, and officially name them as well. To be short, you can break stereotypes as you like. The combat, of course, is the most fun and most interesting thing in the game. Age of Wonders 4 has an incredible amount of different units made with this cool faction creation tool, from fire gremlins to holy moles with wings and nimbuses. Yeah, holy moly is actually here. Battle arenas are gorgeous as well. The design is really pretty and eye-catching. Most of them are filled with some shining details that create this magical atmosphere in which many things die. This is a great game, especially if you like the previous parts or if you are a fan of Heroes of Might and Magic. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Here you'll put on the shoes of a legendary Viking warrior on a quest of glory. Explore England's dark ages as you raid your enemies, grow your settlement, and build your political power. Yeah, this is one of the most innovative Assassin's Creed games, and the Nordic theme of Vikings is what fans of the franchise always wanted, although it is far from the top predators of the genre, such as Title of Third Witcher or even Skyrim by the quality of story and characters. Also, no boobs for you here. Viking game without boobs. What is this blasphemy? Call of Cthulhu. The year is 1924, and here you will take on the role of a private detective. But instead of catching cheating husbands and wives, you must do a bit more serious job. So you are sent to investigate the death of a well-known family on a remote island. What could go wrong? Yeah, you will probably meet some strange creatures, experience weird science, and even come face to face with a creepy cult. I mean, what else is there to do when you spend your time on an isolated island? Knit socks? Repaint the fences? Make potato salad? Although I doubt that you could find the best quality doctor's sausage here.
I am so bored. Yeah, me too. Let's join a cult.
But if you think about it, honestly, if the people of the island would do some sock knitting and repainting the fences for fun, maybe, just maybe, they wouldn't need to join a sinister cult for fun. Some food for thought. Anyways, people are saying that the story of the game is very interesting, engaging, and spooky. But Call of Cthulhu doesn't let you explore much. It is more focused on nice cutscenes, and it does feel more like an adventure game. Cyberpunk 2077. Everyone knows the game, but just a few of us know the real state of it. Is it finally a good game? And the answer is yes. It's not perfect, you know, we didn't get the actual Mass Effect Skyrim GTA 5 hybrid with the best traits of every game, but now Cyberpunk 2077 is in a great state. The simplest proof of that is a recent review score. Rated by thousands of people, it is hovering around 90%. So basically 9 out of 10 people who bought the game these days are really happy with what they get. The game itself, if you somehow don't know that, is an open-world RPG first-person shooter. Honestly, it is a bit dumb combination. You know, how your experience in battle can influence the strength of your bullets. The more you play, the more powerful your weapons get. You know, they are the same weapon, so it makes no sense that your experience in battle makes a bullet explode within a wider radius or something. But hey, it's a game, not a real world, so I probably should shut up about that. So Cyberpunk 2077 itself is like futuristic GTA 5 combined with any AAA kind of shooter and littered with RPG elements. The campaign is great, you can buy it without any regrets just for the campaign alone. The annoying thing, at least for me, was that you can't fly here. That takes a lot of fun away from a GTA-like game. Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning. The game was released in 2012, but 10 years later it was remastered and sold, you know the drill, as a new game with a price of a new game. Everyone was raging, but now it's not a problem anymore. The game itself is designed by the Elder Scrolls Oblivion lead designer Ken Ralston and set in a world with a lore of 10,000 years of fiction created by New York Times bestselling author R.A. Salvatore, or however his name is pronounced. I don't know him, but he is obviously very good. So this is a huge open world world game, although be warned that some players sometimes encounter game-breaking bugs. I literally read that in a comment that was written a few months ago. It's not old news or something, keeping the age of the game in mind. Anyway, the game itself is really good, so you may want to risk it. Asterigos, Curse of the Stars. In this high fantasy world, you will discover the long-forgotten secrets, interesting battle encounters, interconnected maps full of places to explore, and an immersive story where every choice matters. The game is really fun if you like light Souls-like battles and can enjoy a bit of cartoony graphics, but not everything is nice. Game has no map, like at all, so you will have to remember all the places in your head. That of course creates another level of immersiveness because you will have to use your actual navigational senses you usually never use in games. But do we actually want that? I don't think so. Anyway, if you decide to obtain it, the game will take about 30 hours from your boring life. Dragon's Dogma: Dark Arisen. This is a massive, challenging action RPG that drops you into a vast open world full of different creatures and characters. The game was a bit underrated when it initially came out, but over the years Dragon's Dogma regained its glory. I've heard that the second part is in the works as well, but the release date is rumored to be only in the year of 2025. Dragon's Dogma shares its open nature with the games like Horizon and Witcher 3, but has more strategy and more dynamic fights. It's a tougher game in general, but if you like to explore the open world and love fantasy games, you will probably like this game as well. Gamers are talking that this is an underrated gem that is a must-play for every open-world RPG fan. Hades. 98% of positive reviews left by hundreds of thousands of people is the best proof that Hades is a masterpiece. This is a godlike, roguelike dungeon crawler that combines the best aspects of action RPG games and is a wonderful storyteller. As the immortal prince of the underworld, you wield powers and mythic weapons of Olympus to break free from the clutches of the god of the dead himself. You must grow strong and unravel more of the story with each unique escape attempt. Yeah, each attempt. That kinda sums up this game, where you will be dying all the time. But dying is a part of Hades, it's not something you should be afraid of. And people on Steam are saying, well, it doesn't matter what they say. It's a masterpiece. They are all praising the game and saying that it is the best ever, just like potato salad. Immortals: Fenyx Rising. Because it was an Epic Store exclusive, it has various issues, from missing content to controller problems, and of course it needs you to have an Ubisoft account as well. But in general, this is an amazing title. I bought this game for a full price on the release day, and I can proudly say that this is probably the best game I have played in the year of 2020s. I was expecting nothing from it. It looks childish and colorful, and I don't like any of that. You know, I'm 40 years old, you can't buy me with colors. But I started to feel that something is a sus with my prejudice when I heard the first joke, which was really good, but I'm not gonna spoil it to you. And later I started to realize that the whole game is filled with jokes that I find funny, even in the character creation menu. Fun thing is that during the whole game, gods Zeus and Prometheus are talking in the background about you in the past tense, like everything you do has already happened. You know, when they say,
"And then he saw a terrible monster."
You can be sure that you will see a terrible monster in a second, because it's your story that has already happened, but you don't know how yet. Only gods know. In other words, you have to live the story gods are talking about. So let's hope that they don't say anything like,
"And then he put some pineapples into his potato salad."
No. This is not a horror game, so let's hope they will not say that. Although avoid this game if you don't like puzzles. Fenyx Rising is filled with them, but if you liked solving puzzles in Skyrim, for example, you will feel right at home here as well. Lilith Odyssey. This is a small but really ambitious indie project you probably never heard about. So here, after the great natural wars have ended, a corrupt galactic government saps life and resources from the many war-weary planets it controls. Your alien family risks everything across an open-world galactic odyssey to find a mysterious land of new beginnings. And they are all aware of their simulated nature. Well, that's a twist. I always say that our world is a simulation, because there is only a slight tiny chance that our universe is the original one and not being simulated in a computer of some other civilization in another universe, which is itself simulated in some other computer by some even more advanced civilization in another universe, and the cycle may continue endlessly. So really, what are the chances that we live in the first one, the original universe? A rhetorical question, but makes you think, right? Anyway, you will embark on a galactic journey to Lilith, a faraway planet of new hope. You will discover the history of the Mulago galaxy, relax to in-game radio, grow your fishing, farming and space-faring skills, and enjoy casual adventure. Wartales. It has been 100 years since the world saw the fall of the once great Edoran Empire at the hands of an unprecedented plague that swept the nation. So prepare to lead a group of characters in a huge open world where combat, death, and thirst for riches will shape and define your day-to-day life. You are not a special chosen one ushering in a new era of peace. Nah, your goal is solely to survive, well, and thrive in this harsh and hostile land. You can recruit from the vast array of new companions with numerous unique skill sets and weapon preferences, resulting in a plethora of possible builds. You will accept contracts that will take you on a task to defend, liberate, and save the many inhabitants of the land for money. You are not hero, remember? Also here you will be able to collect bounties, from the most insignificant pathetic thieves to the land's most notorious figures. There is no such thing as a profit too small to take. Very wise words, probably many times spoken by Quark from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Fallout New Vegas Ultimate PCR. This is a legendary game, and this deal is the best version of it possible. Pack contains DLCs like Dead Money, Honest Hearts, Old World Blues, Lonesome Road, and so on. So basically, if you play the game when it initially came out or never tried it, this version is the best way to experience Fallout New Vegas. Keep in mind that this is one of the best Fallout games ever created. You know, including classic games and new ones, Fallout New Vegas outshines them all. Everyone who played New Vegas is talking quite unanimously about its greatness. The game was created by Obsidian, the same guys who made Fallout clone The Outer Worlds, and now are probably making the Elder Scrolls clone named Avowed. So serious clone people made this serious game, and this price is kinda friendly. Not like all the inhabitants of the desert you will encounter in-game. And now thank you for watching, and don't forget that you can find way more videos like that in my channel. Check all of them out, save some money, subscribe, eat some potato, blow up some spaceship, die, resurrect, yeah, whatever. See you next time, bye.